Social media has lied to you about fat loss, from influencers to supplement companies to random people on TikTok. Most of what you hear every day is complete BS. After scrolling for half an hour, you can suddenly feel like you've been doing everything wrong for months, and now you somehow have the magic solution that's going to get rid of all of your fat. I used to fall for the exact same crap, and it kept me stuck for years. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the fat loss lies that social media has made you believe, so that you can finally break free from them, lose fat, keep it off for the rest of your life. And I thought, hey, what better way to start than with the lie that's constantly pushed nowadays, and it's that controlling your insulin matters more than a calorie deficit when it comes to fat loss. You've probably seen this everywhere, with these topless donuts telling you that insulin spikes block fat loss and that losing fat comes down to insulin rather than a calorie deficit. Yes, it sounds smart and it sounds scientific, but it's complete bollocks. Insulin doesn't block fat loss, it temporarily shifts what fuel source your body uses. When your insulin rises after you eat carbs, your body burns more carbs than stored fat in that moment, and when it drops, your body burns stored fat. Across the 24-hour period, it comes back down to total energy balance, not total times you spiked your insulin. The truth is, you can lose fat in a high carb diet, low carb diet, vegan, carnivore, keto. It does not matter as long as you're in a calorie deficit. Calories dictate fat loss, not insulin. Think about it like this. If insulin was the only factor that mattered when it comes to losing fat, then every single diabetic person would be morbidly obese no matter how many calories they ate, and anyone could eat 10,000 calories a day as long as they weren't consuming carbs, and they would be shredded. It's ludicrous to even suggest that. Think about professional athletes who are consuming thousands of calories worth of carbs every single day, and entire cultures whose diets are built around rice and noodles, yet they have the lowest obesity rates on the planet. What these insulin gurus fail to mention is that low carb diets tend to mean a lower calorie intake. Less bread, less sugar, less snacks equals less calories, which means more fat loss. The danger is that many people are being convinced that this insulin stuff is a fact, and instead of making lifestyle changes, they jump from diet to diet, chasing hormone and insulin hacks that literally just don't exist. I was the same. I used to believe this crap, and it kept me in a body that I hated for years. So do yourself a favor and block these clowns, and fat loss will become faster, more sustainable, and easier than ever before. And by the way, in case you don't know, if you click the second link in the description of this video, over the next 17 days, I will send you 17 emails containing the exact blueprint I personally used to lose 70 pounds of body fat. And again, that's for free, so make sure you go and grab that straight after this video. Now, I actually thought this next one had gone away, but I've seen it so much recently, and it's that you can target specific areas of body fat. You'll see videos like this 8-minute ab workout burns belly fat, or drink this and it'll get rid of all your face fat, and it's complete and utter BS. If it really works, don't you think that every single guy that was 20% body fat would be walking around with a six-pack because they could just choose to target their midsection first? Unfortunately, there's absolutely no way to tell your body where it should take fat from. The only thing you can do to tap into all of your fat stores is stay in a sustained calorie deficit. And the annoying part is, for most people, your body is going to burn fat in the arms, legs, and chest before the more stubborn areas like the belly, love handles, and lower back. Using myself as an example here, that's why I looked like a 20% body fat. My arms are quite lean, but as you can see from my belly, there wasn't even a sign of a single ab, and the only thing I could do to change that was to lose more fat. It took me until I was around 12 to 13% body fat for me to have visible abs, and by that point my arms and shoulders were completely shredded. Where you lose fat from first and last is mostly predetermined by your genetics. If you want to lose belly fat or you want to lose face fat, instead of looking for a solution that doesn't exist, focus on overall fat, and eventually the fat in the stubborn areas will come off. So many people quit right before the fat is about to come off in those stubborn areas because they think, well, nothing's changed in my belly, and they decide to try and find a new viral trending diet, and they just end up more frustrated than when they started. Also, something a lot of people miss is that if you want to look leaner sooner, then build more muscle. The more muscle you have, the leaner you look, even at higher body fat percentages. Your best bet is to be patient and just keep focusing on the inputs. Get your steps in, keep hitting your calorie and protein target, train properly, and the results you want will come. The third lie, and one that a worrying amount of people believe nowadays, is that if you eat clean, you don't need to track your calories. Listen, your body does not have some fucking food detector that can tell whether the calories that are coming in are clean or dirty. At the end of the day, even if you're eating completely clean, nutrient-dense foods, if you're eating too many calories, you will not lose fat, or you will gain fat. And the thing is, a lot of these so-called healthy foods contain ridiculous amounts of calories. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, peanut butter, all healthy, yes, but contain shit tons of calories. Take a look at this salad. It looks healthy, right? How many calories would you say it contains? 200, 400, 600? No, 1,200. Now take a look at this burger. It looks unhealthy, right? It looks like it would make you fat. How many calories do you think that contains? 650. So you could almost eat two of those for the same amount of calories that are in that salad. And look, don't get me wrong, this is not me saying that you shouldn't eat healthy or that you should only eat macro-friendly burgers. The point I'm trying to make here is that if all you're worrying about is eating clean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose fat. Eating clean and more nutrient-dense foods helps with fullness, hunger control, and staying consistent, but it does not magically put you in a calorie deficit. And that's why so many people end up eating salads for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because it's healthy, and then they wonder why the scale isn't moving. And that's why tracking your calories, especially at the beginning, is so important, because it teaches you calorie awareness. It teaches you what foods keep you full, about portion sizes, and the amount of calories in all the food you're consuming, until eventually you can just look at a plate of food and almost know exactly how many calories it contains without using a tracking app. And that's the point where you want to be at. So eat clean where you can, yes, but don't try and replace a calorie deficit with clean eating, because at that point you may as well just eat whatever you want. Line number 4, and this one I can guarantee that you've seen very recently, and it's that when you fast, your body goes into fat burning mode. You'll hear stuff like, don't worry about calories, fasting hacks your metabolism to automatically burn body fat. Do you want to know why fasting works for some people? Because it reduces the amount of hours in a day where you're consuming calories, not because it flips some special ancient fat burning switch. What these people seem to forget is that your body is always burning or storing fat, and these processes are happening constantly. What determines whether you lose fat or not is whether or not your overall calorie intake is lower or higher than your calorie expenditure, not because you chose not to eat for an 18-hour period. You could fast for 16 hours and still gain fat if you eat too many calories in the remaining 8 hours of that day. Fasting does not override thermodynamics. However, fasting can be really effective when utilized in the right ways. Personally, for me, fasting, or restrictive eating window as I like to call it, helped me massively with losing fat. And why? Because I used to consume so many calories between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. So when I cut myself off at 7 p.m., all of those calories that I was consuming, I can no longer have. Staying in my calorie deficit became much easier. So yes, fasting can help in the right circumstances and when combined with a calorie deficit, not because it's some magic solution. If you want to utilize it for yourself, choose a restrictive eating window that coincides with the hours in the day where you tend to consume the most calories. And that way, it's going to be easier for you to stick to your calorie deficit. So don't believe the BS that claims that fasting is magic. Use it as the tool that it is. The next lie, and the one that I think that keeps people stuck the most, is the idea that you have to destroy yourself in the gym to lose fat. You see these hybrid guys doing 19 training sessions a week, swimming, burpees, weight sessions, half marathons, and they tell you that this is the only thing that's going to make you lose fat. But the truth is, exercise isn't nearly as effective for fat loss when compared to your diet. People hate to hear that because it kills the fantasy of, oh, if I just train hard enough, I can eat whatever I want. But what you need to realize is even a hard session in the gym is only going to burn 400 or 500 calories. But you can consume that amount of calories in a matter of minutes, a couple of handfuls of nuts and a chocolate bar, and that's your deficit gone. And the thing is, when you're absolutely killing yourself with exercise, you're going to be starving and you'll end up consuming more food because you've earned it, and your calorie bottom line will end up being higher than it would have been if you just didn't smash yourself in the gym. And I've seen so many people get stuck in that cycle for years. Effort does not equate to fat loss. Energy balance equates to fat loss. If you're constantly spiking your hunger, draining your energy, and wrecking your recovery by training too hard, fat loss becomes 10 times harder. You'll overeat, binge at night, and move less throughout the day because your body is tired. So just focus on training in the gym 3 to 4 times a week, getting your steps in every day, and let your diet do the heavy lifting. Because trust me, you do not need to be leaving the gym dripping in sweat, feeling like you're about to die. Training that hard is a loser's game. Focus on being consistent with your training, with your diet, and you will see the results you want. So look, it seems like every week at this point, there's a new piece of BS advice when it comes to fat loss. So your best bet is just to completely ignore it, stick to the basics, and stay consistent. And watch this channel. And once you ignore all the crap out there, fat loss suddenly becomes so much easier. And look, if you're done second guessing yourself and you want to finally lose fat and keep it off for the rest of your life, and you want my help in doing so, click the first link in the description of this video. Other than that, I hope this video helped. If it did, leave it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.